In the recent years, I tested dozens of productivity tools, but more often than not, I didn't end up using them in the long run. Sometimes they were unpractical to use, didn't save me any time, or even slowed down my process. However, a very few stick with me, and they clearly made a big difference in my productivity. And with tools, I not only mean apps or fancy software, no, that can be literally anything. The criteria is always the same. Do they save me time, or do they make a task easier? So here are my personal favorite tools that help me to increase my productivity overall in life. Okay, so the first tool is my work outside toolkit, as I like to call it. Often I like to go outside to a cafe or a co-working space to get my work done. And this toolkit is always with me. So basically it consists of a MacBook stand from Ugreen, which I've been using for nearly a year now. And it has been a total game changer. It helps me to place my screen higher, which is way more comfortable when working long hours in front of the screen, and it also improves my posture massively. And this ultimately makes me more productive, since I can work more comfortable and for a longer duration. I think this stand was literally $15, so often there are really simple and cheap things that can have a big impact. The next item in the toolkit is my Apple Magic keyboard. An external keyboard obviously makes sense when you use with a laptop stand. What I like about the Magic Keyboard is that it's super slim, so it's easy to pack in any bag, and it has the exact same keyboard than the MacBook, which I personally really like. The next part is the Logitech MX Master 3S mouse, which completes the toolkit. To be honest, I've used the MacBook's trackpad for ages, but last year I finally decided to get a mouse, and it makes such a big difference. You're much faster and it's also way better for your hand. I don't know, we all love the trackpad gestures and don't want to miss them, but that's why I choose the MX Master 3S. It has 5 customizable buttons which can be set to relevant gestures. So they essentially eliminate the need for the trackpad. So I can highly recommend it. Other than those things, I also always bring my AirPods so I can tune in some nice background music if it's noisy. But yeah, overall I find having this toolkit is super valuable and I don't want to miss it anymore when working outside. As next tool on the list we have the Kindle. I usually read every morning 20 minutes as part of my morning routine, so I get quite some books done. But instead of always having to go to the bookstore to buy a new book, I can simply download it with one click on my Kindle. And it's also so handy, it literally doesn't take any space if I go somewhere. Another part that makes it way more efficient than physical books is the fact that it's so easy to highlight things. And I set it up with Readwise, so each time I highlight something in the Kindle, it automatically syncs with my Notion page where I store all my book notes. So if I ever want to revisit my highlights or use the content for a video, it's fast and easy. So a Kindle or basically any e-reader is definitely a tool that makes you more productive. Next we have an app called Things 3. This is essentially a to-do list sort of thing, but slightly advanced. What I like about it, it is a super simple concept, but still so powerful. So I use it that way. I have 2 widgets on my home screen. One is my inbox and the other one is for today's tasks. Often things come up, but they don't need to be done right away. So I would put those things in the inbox so I don't forget them, but can get back to them anytime later. And today is basically my daily to-do list. So each morning I put 2 to 3 tasks that I want to get done on that day. I really like the home screen widgets because they remind me of the tasks and make sure I don't abandon the app. That definitely happened before. Things 3 also allows you to create your own lists. So you can create a list for each area of your life and fill it with sub-to-dos. That's very useful. I have, for example, a list called things to buy. So always if something is missing, I put it on that list. And next time I go shopping, I can just check the list and certainly won't forget anything. Oh, and by the way, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you liked the video so far. Next, one of my favorite tools of all time, Audible. I know this isn't anything new and has been around for so long, but also audiobooks are such a powerful thing. There are so many passive activities during our days, such as walking, commuting, getting ready, and so on. And that's literally the perfect time to listen to audiobooks. It allows you to educate yourself without even having to read. And I think it's safe to say every one of us has those passive activities that they could make use of. Recently I also made my own video about why audiobooks are so powerful. So if you're interested in that, definitely make sure to check that out. The next tool is called Otter AI and is our first AI tool in this video. I don't use it every single day, but when I need it, I'm very happy to have it. It essentially allows me to record any voice note or conversation and transcribe it in real time. So for example, when I don't have free hands to type, I can simply click on record and start taking a note. Or also sometimes I might have an important conversation, like in meetings, that I want to take a note of. Also here, Otter AI is super useful and saves a lot of time. The next tool is not really a tool, but a thing I do to stay focused and be more productive. And that's listening to YouTube background music. Especially when I have to write or to do some research. I really like to have some lo-fi beats in the background. It keeps me focused and I don't know, it's just a nice vibe. There are even studies that have shown that lo-fi music helps for studying, for example. And sometimes if I'm really feeling it, I like to listen to movie soundtracks by Hans Zimmer. He composed for movies like Interstellar, Badminton, Kung Fu Panda and many more. If you haven't listened to them, I'd highly recommend you to give it a try. Last but not least is journaling with Day One. I started using Day One in the beginning of this year and I really love it so far. It's a simple but yet effective way to journal and reflect on your life. Basically, I try to make every day an entry in which I write about my day, my feelings, my thoughts I'm having, and so on. If you haven't tried journaling yet, I'd highly recommend to give it a try. It's a great way to clear your mind and get all more clear about what's happening in your life. One of my favorite features in Day One is that you can look back in your timeline. So let's say you journal every day for 5 years. Imagine how cool it would be to look back on any specific day of your life, to see how you have grown and changed. I believe journaling is a super powerful habit to do, so I encourage you to give it a try. So yeah, that are my top productivity tools. Well, at least for now. I'd be interested, what are yours? Can you recommend anything to try out? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, definitely don't forget to subscribe to not miss out any upcoming videos on productivity and personal growth. Until then, see you in the next one.